Hey friends, welcome to the Upright Christian Parenting Podcast, Season 4, part of the Treehouse Storyteller family, and I'm your host, Hannah Peru. This is your place for upright parenting in today's sideways culture. We don't tiptoe around hard truths around here. We tackle cultural issues head on, build a bold biblical worldview, and equip you to lead your flock with courage. Our kids are being discipled by something, so let's make sure it's us. Grab your coffee, lace up your shoes, and let's raise kingdom arrows. Hey everyone, welcome back to Upright Christian Parenting. Today I have Ashley Elaine. Guys, oh my word, she is an actress and producer, founder and CEO of AE Productions. She is a mama bear. She loves the Lord. I am so excited. We just watched Where the Wind Blows last night. I'm just thrilled to introduce you. So please join me in welcoming Ashley Elaine.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is a thrill.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So first of all, I would love to just thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for being just, paving the way for entertainment that is uplifting and that mirrors the biblical worldview. And I just appreciate that so much. It's rare. And I feel like, we're starting to maybe make a little bit of headwind
Yes.
in that movement. And it's so encouraging to see. And, a lot of my time, this is my fourth season. I've been podcasting for 3 or 4 years now. And a lot of my time, I have encouraged people unplug, turn it off, don't watch it, because it hasn't been worthy in a lot of instances. You look at Netflix and all of that. And it's a scary place to just send your kids off with a remote or on YouTube or whatever. But I am so encouraged to see that there are things with biblical values that are faith-driven. And I really appreciate the work that you do because I love entertainment. I love being able to watch something that is empowering and just uplifting in that way. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to listen to you tell us a little bit about your personal journey of how you became an actress and producer, because I think that's kind of foundational there to hear that part of the story.
Yes. Well, I have been in the entertainment industry a long time. I started out with producing for 15 years and then moved into acting for 6. And then I just felt like the next natural progression for me was combining the two worlds, just because I was so familiar with being in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I also wasn't seeing a lot of scripts available to me for the type of roles I wanted to play that lined up with my morals and values and more family-friendly content. And so I just figured if I wanted that opportunity, I'm going to have to create it myself. And so I started AE Productions and I did Mayberry Man, the TV series, season 1. And then my second project has now been Where the Wind Blows. So
That's
very
so
exciting.
awesome. It's so awesome. Since you brought it up, why don't you quickly tell us a little bit about the premise of Where the Wind Blows?
Where the Wind Blows is an 1880s romantic Western based off the acclaimed novel by Caroline Fife. And it's just a lovely, sweet story about a young widow that really wants to have a family and adopt a little girl. And she needs help by a very attractive cowboy. And luckily, he decides to help her. And it's just a wonderful story of kind of a backwards way of how they became a family. And I just think everybody will really enjoy it.
I think so too. I highly recommend. We were very excited to watch it together, and it was great. Really appreciate it. I won't give anything away. I was talking to my 13-year-old and she was like, "Ooh, just don't say this." All the things that she was saying. I'm like, "Oh, you're such a turkey." Okay. So really, how has that journey changed? Clearly I hear you saying, there wasn't any scripts out there for you. And I fully believe that wholeheartedly. I love that you just took matters into your own hands. Has that kind of changed with motherhood?
Well, I was a very young mom. And
Okay.
so I just learned quickly how much my daughter absorbed the environment that she was around. And I just made my own personal choices for my work within this industry to reflect more family friendly values altogether. And so I knew that eventually, if I wanted to be a part of content or create content, that she would be able to watch it with me. That was very important. I never wanted to feel like, "Oh my gosh, I have to fast forward this," or I have to change the channel or whatever, and just for me, that was just very important, and then just what lined up for my morals and values, and so it definitely did change a lot once I saw how much everything that was around her was shaping who she was, and
Mhm.
so I'm like, "Okay, um, I only want to expose her to a lot of things that would be uplifting and
Yeah.
hopeful and have a great message, along with being very cinematic. And I know that that's the challenge in both worlds. And so that was just where my passion is.
Yeah, well, you've proven it can be done, so
Thank
that's
you.
good. That's good. Did it change as she got older? Because I feel like when our kids are really little and they don't understand things or don't really know what's going on, it's easier to just kind of like, "Oh, it's fine, they're in the room, it's okay," but did has that kind of gotten even tighter as she's aged?
Yes, and she is older. She's in college now. And so
Oh my
she
goodness.
yes.
You are I'm not believing it.
It's true. It's very true. Um, and so she's now a young woman, and so she's
Yeah.
making choices, but, and what's lining up for her, she's making those choices for herself, but I'm seeing that it also does reflect the environment in which she was raised, and so, I'm very proud of her and proud of her choices and the woman that she's become.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome. Very good, very good. And it's a beautiful thing seeing, you know, Hollywood or actors' children or people that have been in the limelight, that their children are thriving and doing amazing, and that is very much a tribute to what you were able to do for her as a mother, so I commend you for that. From your perspective, what's missing in today's landscape of family and faith-based films and television, and how you're working to help fill that gap?
I Let me say this. I feel that there are a lot of wonderful family friendly and faith stories out there. I want to be a part of that culture and that movement and bring it to be very cinematic. I feel like sometimes when we have one, we don't have the other, and so I'm trying to bridge that gap of just making it more mainstream for everybody to watch
Mhm.
in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Why do you think we have such a hard time, like, piecing those 2 things together in the more, like, conservative, faith-based thing?
I think honestly, it is somewhat lack of funding.
Mhm.
It is
Yeah,
harder to get those projects greenlit, and so, I had to we're an independent film, and so,
yeah,
we had, private equity come in, and we had investors, and I had to raise the money and put the deal together because we're not a studio, and so it is harder when these independent filmmakers that want this content out there, aren't backed by studios. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. It's just a little bit harder. And so sometimes the budget is smaller. And so maybe something is lacking more in that department because of that, which is nobody's fault. It's just what it is.
right, right,
Yeah.
it's uphill both ways. I mean, you've gotta climb uphill to get it off the ground and then uphill to launch it and pull it all off, and so I think that's, um is there anything my viewers, can do to support that better so we can start to see that shift a little bit? Is there anything, um, just from is there anything from, making sure you're clicking on the right things and supporting it with views that way or, I don't know, what outside of the box things, aside from being a giant investor, can we do to support that and so we can see more of that content produced?
Well, I wholeheartedly, and I'm sure you do too, believe in the power of prayer. So
Yeah.
first, to pray for this, pray over this, that we can have more content like this, and that more independent filmmakers can find the funding to do this. And second, yeah, I mean, support projects that you believe in. Where the Wind Blows is on Apple TV, Amazon Prime. It's all over. It'll soon be streaming on Up Faith and Family.
Oh, great.
Um, so I think just if you want to see more content, definitely get behind it. The more popularity it has, the more success it'll have, which, maybe you could take that funding from that success and do more projects. And so, yeah, just support your projects that you really want to continue to see.
From our very first days, America has been driven by the idea that hard work could lead us to the life we always envisioned. And today, honoring that legacy, College of the Ozarks does more than just provide an education. We're reawakening the American spirit.
When I thought about college, I knew that I wanted to do something that I was ambitious. C of O opened my eyes to the opportunities that were out there for me.
Our model of providing a Christian liberal arts education to those facing economic hardship hasn't wavered since 1906. Our students graduate debt-free through our work education program. They learn how to live a life guided by their faith. And as they begin their careers, they've learned how to take their seat at the table of influence and open the door of opportunity for others.
Being an assistant principal has allowed me to pour into kids the way that people have poured into me and open up doors and opportunities to things that they didn't know were possible.
We're reawakening the American spirit in the next generation. Will you join us?
I love the prayer piece though, because that is really, I think about the armor of God a lot and how putting the armor of God, the last piece of that is, but pray and
Yeah.
pray always and don't stop and keep praying.
Yes.
And, as we're faced with a culture, and adversity with some of the content that we're pushing out. I myself have been shadow banned multiple times, super fun. And, you get to a point where you might be weary and, oh my word, this is really just a battle. And we've got to remember to put that armor on. And that prayer piece is right there with it. It's so crucial. So I love that reminder.
Yeah.
So clearly your daughter is full grown and thriving and amazing. Um, but what do you encourage other mamas and women who are maybe in a space similar to yours or maybe to mine where they're producing content and they're really trying to, you know, use their work to glorify God as we are called to do? What encouragement, from the pressures that we have with media, just cultural pressures, um, pressures to balance everything in life. What advice do you have?
Give yourself grace.
Good one.
But truly, because it's so hard, all of it, right? And so, just navigating everything and always feeling like you need to be in two places at once, a place with your work or a place with your family, or and no one can do it all. So just give yourself grace. And I just want to encourage all the women out there that if this is your passion and this is the path that you feel called and led to be in, then don't give up. And again, pray over it and find people within the network to be a good mentor, and which is what I did. And I love to mentor people within this space as well to help encourage women. And yeah,
Mentorship is so important.
yeah,
It's so, so important. And we tend to isolate. I think I know men isolate for their own reasons. But I think women isolate out of shame, or we don't want people to see our ugly side or our hurting side. And I think it's so important to have mentors and build those relationships and build community. And I love that you have found that within your space. That is incredible. It's probably very rare. And I love that you are willing to do that for others, because that's really, that Titus woman that, raises or is raised by the older and raises up the younger. And being in that sandwich is such a incredible spiritual place to be in, that, really God created it so beautifully, for us to love on each other and support each other and say the
yeah,
hard things.
yes.
Yeah. Is there anything, now this is just completely rolling with it here, I'm going to put you on the spot. Is there
Okay.
anything that has come up that you have just had to be like, nope, that is a hard no, standing firm, not doing it?
There are definite boundaries I have because I'm given a lot of scripts. And what one person might think is family friendly might not be what I think is family friendly. And so if there's a scene within that, or there's language, or, an intimate scene or something that I'm just not, for my morals and values, not going to do, that's a hard no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. That's good. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so thankful for what is just moving forward in the entertainment industry. And I think we've got some greats um, just fighting for the front lines for this. And hopefully it just becomes a safer and safer place for kids to sit in front of the screen
Yes.
in the future. And it's funny how we have to almost culturally go backwards. It's like we went too far. Hold on, let's reel this back in. Um, and is there anything else you see, culturally driving entertainment, maybe a trend in kind of the mainstream side that you are really making an effort and taking a strong pivot of going, okay, this is what's trending, but we're going to take a hard direction this way?
Well, one thing, it's a little off topic, but one thing that's trending is creating content where people can scroll on their phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so literally big name studios are creating content where people could be on their phone and have such a simplistic plot to a story that they could do both. They could be on their phone and watch. And I just don't want to be a part of that. I want to create content and art that really evokes emotion and is intentional. And cinematic. And I want people's full attention. So that's just one thing I'm being very purposeful about.
Yeah. It's really dumbing down the art behind
Mhm.
the production. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I mean, you want to be like, hold on, press pause. I have to run and get popcorn, or I have to run and go to the bathroom. Like, you want something that you're watching to be so captivating, and you want your audience, I mean, creating that, like, that just feels icky to me. And I kind of understand what you're saying. I feel like I've seen like a taste of that, but I haven't seen it full force. And that just feels, we're just dumbing ourselves down and just washing things over and just, I don't know, there's no substance there. And
Right.
if we're creating a culture that is thirsty for nothing and just entertained by garbage, essentially, just like literally, what is it? I mean, it's stuff that it's like my 13-year-old is probably producing better things on her iPad than than some of those things. I mean, just yeah, it's crazy. I really think, that scroll mentality is there to distract us. Um,
Mhm.
and we really have to, be wise of what we watch, and, what goes into our eyes, it enters into our heart, and that becomes a part of us and what we hear and listen to. And, those values are so important, at least to me and clearly to you. And, um, it really does matter. I think, it's kind of an immature mindset that what you're watching or what you're listening to doesn't matter. And I feel like a lot of people can remember being the teenager and their parents saying like, turn that stuff off. And it's just noise or whatever. And going, well, but the beat's really good. Like, I'm not listening to the words, Dad. Like, I can totally remember saying this. Like, I'm not listening to the words. It's just the beat. I really like it.
Right.
And and then fast forward and you're a parent and you're like, "Oh,
I get
oh,
it.
yeah, this is not life-giving. This is not, um, lining up with God's ideal for marriage, with God's ideal of my identity or any of those things." And so we really have to be very choosy, especially as parents. Um, and, you know, beating that into our kids' head is sometimes the hard piece because it does require some maturity,
Yes.
in order to start to see it that way,
Yeah.
and, you know, guarding our hearts and minds, and, very
Yes.
awesome. Alright,
Yeah.
so you have, some big awards ceremonies coming up. Would you like to share with us?
Yes, I'm so honored. My whole team and I are nominated this year at the National Religious Broadcast Convention's the ICVM Crown Awards, and we're up for Best Film, Best Actress, and Best Soundtrack. So we just
Yay!
yeah,
Congratulations. So
yeah.
worthy of those. I am so excited to meet you in person at
Oh,
our
wonderful! You're going to be there.
yes,
Awesome!
yes.
Yay!
So
Meet you.
excited. Very
Yes.
excited. So this will be a wonderful time, and we get to meet face to face. So it'll be really
Yes. I'm so
beautiful.
excited.
Yes, I love it. We'll be hit the ground running. And for those of you listening that don't know what NRB is, National Religious Broadcasters, it's really where all your amazing, crazy Christian conservative media people get together and jam out for the highest speed week possible and do way too much things. And we just extend time and let God multiply our time while we're there and get a lot done. So
Yes.
it is little crazy worker bees running in circles around each other. And I love it so much. It's one of my favorite weeks of the whole year
Me
to
too.
be a part of. So very
Yes.
exciting. Well, Ashley, I will be praying for you and just praying for the industry that you are in
Thank you.
and praying that God will just open doors and pave ways while you are, constantly up against cultural issues and cultural fights and battles. And when the world is screaming one thing, you are just so graciously singing another praise. And so I just appreciate that. And it's been an honor to talk with you today. And I look forward to meeting you soon.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
If today's conversation stirred something in you, if you're craving a little more quiet, a little more presence, and a little more Jesus in the everyday, I want to invite you to grab the Wanderer's Field Guide. It's a 4-week journey of seeking, gathering, harvesting, and abiding in His presence. Just 1 page a day, 1 prayer at a time. It's not about perfection. It's about coming home to Him. You can order yours at thetreehousestoryteller.com.
Wait, before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook or Instagram at The Treehouse Storyteller so we can stay connected. Head on over to thetreehousestoryteller.com for more products, artwork, photography, and encouragement. See you next time.